I would like to begin with a poem in old-fashioned meter. Be good to us, and we'll be good to you.
When you were a child, I'm sure that at some point a pleasant, nurturing woman who smelled of biscuits and springtime sat you down and said to you, "Now, child, you can't judge a book by its cover, but you can, however, judge a book by the 4,000 or fewer character book description that the nice people wrote about the book, and if they found it agreeable to use a few of them HTML tags in there, to spruce the place up a bit. Oh, child, you can go right ahead on and buy that book like the good Lord intended." Thanks, Mama. To make Mama proud, today we're going to talk about how to apply special formatting, such as font size, bold, and italics, to the text in your book description, using the surprisingly simple technique of HTML tags. Just like my video posts about creating cover art for your ebook, we're going to follow an actual book, which I published for a client, Personal Defense and the Right to Bear Arms. The book itself is not so controversial, I guess. It's basically a funny gun laws for dummies book that points, it follows a fictional birthday clown named Bubbles, who performs, very poorly I might add, at a child named Jimmy's birthday party and frightens instead of amuses the children. And based on his scary performance, the father, Timmy, decides, I'm not going to pay Bubbles. He just scared all the kids. Definitely not paying him. So the book shows several different scenarios and then speculates how the law might interpret guilt or innocence between the father and Bubbles. Self-defense, things of that nature. And it also provides just a little analysis of the Second Amendment's context and history. One thing I find very interesting about this book is that my client, the author, chose to publish a book in a particular niche about 9 months before that very topic exploded, no pun intended, into the public discourse. It was a very keen, I guess you could say, sense of timing on the part of the author, not to make light of a tragic situation. Furthermore, we did a little keyword research before we published the book, and we actually chose the title of the book based on other popular titles and niches and Google searches, etc. So a little keyword research is how we came to the title. So the Kindle Store is part of where we looked at, and it's a very good place to do some old-fashioned qualitative research where you just go in, you type in phrases, you look at what books are the top 6 or 10 or, the first page of the books that are displayed on the first page of the search query. So I would recommend that before you title your book. But with that being said, let's head now to the Kindle Store. We're going to look at some book descriptions not to talk about keywords, but to get an idea of what some other people are doing before we look at our own book description and how HTML tags make a book description come to life. So, one of the niches is personal defense that we'll be searching for. And this is the most popular book in that niche. Personal Defense by Jeff Cooper. It came out in 2005, but it's actually just a reissue of a classic and very popular book. And this particular edition has a talented illustrator and an accomplished gun expert writing the foreword, so it's just slightly improved, but context is everything. And this book, the description and cover are not that important because it sells by word of mouth. You can see it has 539 reviews. People come looking, they know of this book and they come looking for it. So when we look at the text of the description, it's short, it's plain, and then we see some boldface type. So we know the description is actually using some HTML tags to emphasize the title of the book within that description. So we'll find out how they made that text bold a little later on. We'll do a little more research here. Here is another book within the category. I truly and genuinely don't mean to keep picking on this guy. I do think that it's clear Mr. Matt here is an expert in his field of gun safety, and a person who, just by my surface level assessment, who seems to genuinely care about getting the knowledge and the experiences that he's had out to other people to make them feel safer and be able to protect themselves and ultimately to prevent people from getting hurt. But he does not strike me as an author. I pointed out in another video the Photoshop picture of the gentleman, which may or may not be the author. But either way, this gentleman on the cover appears to be standing on thin air. But we're here to look at the description, not the cover. It's just regular, normal, quote-unquote, flat text. There's no special formatting of any kind. There's nothing about it that grabs you. There's just words. And this is what Amazon allows you. Without the use of HTML tags, this is your only option. It allows you 4,000 characters, but say, for instance, if you use a return to create a paragraph separation, like in Microsoft Word, when you're typing out a description, and once you publish it, even if the paragraph return shows up in your KDP input description field, once it actually comes to the marketplace, it'll just be all the text will be blopped. All your words will be blopped together. Blippity bloppity blip. Unless you use HTML tags. One final example, just to make sure that we're really getting a sense of how powerful a book description can be. We're going to look at this book, Mass Casualties. It's a great book. I highly recommend this autobiographical book. I haven't had a chance to read the sequel yet, but this first one is great. More importantly, look at the description. It starts with bold to grab you, and then the use of a blocked italics quote really has the impact of activating your brain's visualization, I guess. It's like, it's like, okay, we're actually going to a real place. This is what your brain is saying. Or the words. This is what the words are saying to your brain, the italics. All right, we're actually going to go to a real place with real sights and sounds and people. Got it? And then the brain's like, okay, feed me the descriptive words and I'll try my best to really go there with you in my imagination. So this is a good example to me of use of, all his text that we can see here is formatted. And I think it has a really nice effect. Look around, the drill sergeant said. In a few years or even a few months, several of you will be dead. Some of you will be severely wounded or so badly mutilated that your own mother can't stand the sight of you. And for the real unlucky ones, you will come home so emotionally disfigured that you wish you had died over here. All right, just a side note here. His book description is displayed, but you can click at the top on the author's name, which takes you to his Author Central page, which is just a short bio and link to his other books, which is a nice touch. It costs nothing to set up, so why not? And fun fact, different countries have different Amazon stores. So each country kind of has its own store. So it's not a terrible idea to set up author central pages in some other countries, just so when people are reading your book and deciding if they should buy it, they might get just a slightly more personal sense. Like, oh, this book is information and words, but there's a real life breathing person behind it. So just a little tip there. When implanting HTML special formatting into our book description, no matter what the formatting is, if we're making the text bold or adding a paragraph return or making it italicized, we're going to type the HTML language, which is expressed in these little snippets known as tags. We're going to type the tags right into the book description itself. So in KDP's backend, the place where we're able to type out 4,000 characters, and the tags do count as characters towards the 4,000, but we're going to put them right in there into the description. And if we type it correctly, the tags will be hidden from view when someone looks at the description, and instead, they will just have the desired effect on the text immediately before or immediately after them, the tags, that is. So here's a list of the HTML tags which are currently, as of the time of this recording, accepted by Amazon for Kindle book descriptions. So for the most up-to-date information, as always, visit the KDP help page. So, just some basic rules, I guess, or ideas about HTML tags. So all tags are simply letters or numbers, and they're contained inside a less than and a greater than symbol on either side of them. So they're contained in these little brackets. That's number one. Number two, some effects, such as if you want to add a horizontal line, kind of a separation line would be an example of this. Some tags require only one tag. You just put it in and it creates the horizontal line or paragraph return or whatever your desired effect is. They work by themselves. But finally, a lot of the formatting techniques actually requires two tags. I mean, if you think about it, if you want to apply some sort of effect or formatting to a section of text, you have to tell the HTML where to start and where to end. So a lot of formatting requires a tag at the beginning, also known as an open tag, and a tag at the end, also known as a closed tag. And they'll have the same code in there. They'll have the same assortment of letters and numbers. The only difference will be the closed tag will also have a backslash inside the bracket to indicate that it is closing or ending, deactivating that format, which was activated at the start of the open tag. So let's play a little game here. And if you can successfully get this right or feel confident about it, then you're pretty much ready to start using HTML tags on Amazon or anywhere else on God's green earth that accepts them. So I'm going to show you the book description for Personal Defense and the Right to Bear Arms as it appears in the Kindle Store. I will also show you our list of HTML special formatting effects that we can use the tags for. And I want you to see if you can look at the book description itself and spot the special formatting. Don't worry about what tags or brackets or any HTML code at all. Just see if you can spot the uses of the special formatting in the description. If you're competitive like me, then you will pause the video, get a piece of paper and a pen, and see how well you do. All right, so judges, put 15 seconds on the clock. Ready, set, go. How'd you do? The point of the exercise is to get you familiar with some of the options available to you, and also just to show you that HTML tags are only applying simple effects to the text of your book description. Nothing too fancy. To take the mustard off the hot dog, as I like to do, here is the book description, character for character, copied and pasted into Microsoft Word and displayed next to the book description so that you can actually see what I had to type in to KDP to achieve the desired effect using HTML tags. You can obviously pause the video. All of my videos are really designed to be viewed on a computer, perhaps listening to headphones. That's the best way to watch any of these videos. But if you want to take a look further at this in your own time and your own pace, you can also go to my website, taylorjmcbride.com, and in the tutorial/blog section, I have actually the files that I just showed you, and you can actually download them and print them out, do whatever you want, but if that would help you to learn a little bit more. But here now, we've had a chance to get up close and personal with the HTML tags that we used in the book description for our Second Amendment book. So let's actually take a step back in this whole thing here and take a look at the bigger picture. Why is your book description important at all? Why should you take the time to do this sort of thing? Why does it even matter? Well, for starters, there's 3 absolutely mandatory things that you need before you can make your ebook go live into the Kindle Store. And not to constantly keep referencing other videos, but you can make your book go live for pre-order. And I suggest that you do that because it allows people to go ahead, your beta readers who are going to review for you, to start buying it. But there's 3 things that you have to have before you can make your book live in the store for pre-order or otherwise. First, you need a cover file. You have to upload a cover file that meets the requirements of KDP. 2, you have to have a file that is a draft of your interior book content. And 3rd, what do you think it is, guys? A book description for the Kindle Marketplace. You cannot post a book with no description. And I'm going to just add in a little cheat code about those 3 mandatory requirements for the people who are, probably some of you, are just trying to fly through the process and complete the level like Sonic the Hedgehog. Just, you want to get from point A to point B. So the cheat code is that the second thing I named, I said you need a draft of the interior content of your book. The cheat code is that when you go live for pre-order, you don't actually need to have a complete copy of your interior book matter. To say that another way, you can upload an incomplete draft, such as a plot outline. As long as you upload something, Amazon will usually accept and allow you to move forward with a live pre-order in the Kindle Store. So for instance, at the time of this recording, the personal defense book was not actually live in the store. All I had uploaded was this here outline. It's just a Second Amendment outline. It talks about the history, the context. It goes on to have different sections about different types of self-defense law, involuntary manslaughter versus first-degree murder, some funny stories, and it literally just says, funny story about Bubbles the Clown. It does not, I can't emphasize, it does not have the body of the text. I was still working with the editor and the ghostwriter on this. So yeah, but this is what you can upload, simply an outline, and go ahead and move forward with your pre-order, just to show you. So what that means, to summarize, is that if you've already watched the video posts about how to create an ebook cover, then all you have left is a book description. And really, you're ready to go live. Don't get me wrong. You'll still have a ton of work on the back end when it comes to formatting, uploading, marketing, etc. But this is self-publishing 101. So we're just trying to go from point A to point B, publish a book without spending money, essentially. So don't make the mistake that I've made before, which is I've finished everything about my book and then been super psyched to go upload it into the store, only to be reminded by KDP at the very last moment that I don't have a book description. So then I choose in haste to post my book live for pre-order without applying the proper time and energy and forethought, including the use of formatted text and HTML tags, because that can take a little time, but your book description deserves that time. Because ultimately, this is a fundamental thing that people are looking at when they choose whether or not to purchase this book. It is one of the, if not the most important factor behind the cover. So if you haven't already, be sure to check out my previous posts on book cover art specification. Once you have your cover, then you get your book description. You basically have the two major outward-facing pieces of the puzzle. So that are the most visible to customers and that are required. So stay tuned for my next post where I will walk you through the back end side of Kindle Direct Publishing and get you ready to check the basic settings that your book needs. We're just going to walk through it and get you at the end of that video ready to hit that publish button at the end of the KDP metadata, as it were. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Definitely, if you liked the video, smash the like button. Don't be scared to subscribe to the channel, because this is just the first of many, many tutorial videos and other content that I'll be putting out. So thank you for listening, and have the remainder of a great day.
Jeez, this tune they're on fire. Jeez. You don't know.